Okay, trailer update. Well, seen a nice bench here, my nice seat. Yeah, things are starting to come together. I gotta turn my light on. I spent the day working on the front part of the trailer, and I was able to put in these cross beams, which gave the support for the walls, which meant I could put these in. I'm just putting them in there for now. I'll pull them out as I'm starting to do some other things, but it's really starting to come together and looking like a trailer. Now, I've spent some time. There's a piece of the front skin, and I pulled the skins out, laid them up against the different parts of the trailer, and I'm really close. I think it's gonna work. But my trailer is pretty much 80 inches wide, outside to outside, and that is about where it needs to be. Now, I've messed up along the way, and I've had to redo a few things. Here's the shelf. I put this in. I do have an original Formica here. I don't know if I'm going to use it or not, but I just put it here. This is where it would go. It just sits on top of this board. I have to rebuild the shelf. This was all rotted away on the ends. Not this board, but the original one. So I rebuilt that. I rebuilt these. What they did is they covered these with paneling, so I'll have some paneling that I'll eventually put on the face of this, so it will look a little better with the trailer. And boy, I learned a little bit more about, I wish I took more pictures, and how they did the shape of the walls. I found a piece. I don't know if I still have it here. I think I have it up on the ceiling, and no, it's not there. Found a piece, and I knew there was a funny curve that happened right around this region up on the ceiling. Let me see if I can get there. And I didn't quite understand what was really going on with that section of the paneling, because it didn't seem to have any real impact. But then I slowly realized that the panel, what should have happened here is that the panel should have rose up about 3/4 of an inch, and then been 3/4 inch higher all along here up until this region right here. And I had already trimmed my panel down to this level right here. So in essence, this wall, this panel should have been 3/4 of an inch higher. I did not discover that and did not realize what was going on back here until later, as I started really trying to finalize putting this panel and then this panel up here. So rather than have this big gap right here, 3/4 inches, I just sacrificed this height here, and I just built a little wedge right here. So I'll fill this in with some paneling later on, and just get that to look a little better. And so I did the same thing on this side. So same thing, there was a little ramp here. This would have been 3/4 of an inch higher here, and then right to this point, and then wrap around this curvature up here. So I just built that little wedge. Right now, this board, the ceiling panel, is just clamped down. I'm trying to get it to bend nicely here, so I'm got it clamped down to try to form it, and then I also need to just make sure that I get everything lined up perfectly before I do staple it down to the sides, and then also to this beam right up here. But I'm feeling pretty good about how that all came together. Spent a lot of time just trying to piece together the old pieces, because remember, this whole section was so rotted that I had a lot of questions in terms of how this was all going to come together. Now, I did actually do some more modifications of the side. So this board right here, I actually had it trimmed down with the jigsaw. I filled this in as well with the cross beam, but I had this going out about 1/4 of an inch. I had it too long, and I knew I was off by 1/4 of an inch. But once I was able to put these boards on, which are the cross beams to give the support to the front of the trailer, I was able to jigsaw that off. And then same thing up here. I was too high here, and I know I spent a lot of time comparing this side with the other side, and I was always either 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch off. Ended up that this side was off, and that this curvature, I finally realized all needed to be even coming out once I put the ceiling panel on. So that's all looking pretty good. What I also did is I loosened up all the pocket hole screws as I put on these cross beams, because these cross beams really pulled things square, and then I re-tightened down the pocket holes screws once I had these beams in place. Now, this is pretty beefy, and the reason why this is so strong up front is because as I'm pulling the trailer, the wind is hitting that section of the trailer, and so that really needs to be a reinforced section to withstand that wind constantly beating down on that part of the trailer. So that's all making sense now that I've done it. I've actually spent a lot of time trying to figure out this section quite a bit. I think I'm going to be okay with the width. Pretty spot on with about 80 inches wide, which is the paneling. The skins, that is. The skins are 80 inches. And now it's just a matter of rebuilding this front so I can put in the front window. So that's what I've been doing today. And also put in the back panels. Oh, that's something else I learned now that I've done what I've done. So I put in that panel there, and I put in that panel there, and you can see the coloring is a little different. Well, what I learned is when I purchased my my paneling, I should have purchased it all on one day, but I ended up purchasing some. Then I said, oh, I'm going to need some more, so I'll go get some more. So I ended up purchasing different panels on different days, and the coloring is just a bit different. So that's something I learned. If I had to do it again, I would purchase all my panels and probably a little bit more, just in case, so that they all stain really close to each other. I'm not too worried about that because this is actually a Groucho bed, so this would be a sort of a couch at this stage, the way it's set up right now. So that's going to be covered by a mattress and pillows anyhow, so not that big of a deal. I've got to put some trim on there and finish up that part. And yeah, I had to redo this up here because I had forgotten I stapled the ceiling panel down, but I forgot to have the gimp in here, so I added the gimp back in, and that took a little bit. And along the way, my compressor hose broke, so I had to replace that, or I had to fix that. Lots of little things. Put in all the cabinet hardware now, so those are all, you got to have those locked down. So it's obviously when you're traveling, I got one more. I got to do this one, and I've got to do the drawer here, but I got to wait for this one, because I do need to put in the side panel here, but I'm not going to put this side panel in here because I need to put the fridge in here, the ice box here, and I don't want to, I still want to have access to securing the ice box from the side. So ice box, then the side, then the cabinet hardware, this cabinet hardware, and then I think I'm all done with hardware inside. Okay, that's the update. Doing good.